Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the F1 video series. In this video, we are going to cover two topics. One is housing and the other is how to find internships in United States. So if you are an international student who is planning to come to United States for bachelor's, master's or PhD, then do watch this video till the very end. So now let's touch on another question that's once you are coming to the country, right, as a international student. So the first thing that you want to have is a place to stay, right? So if you guys can touch on that, maybe Pradeep, if you can go about it, or Poojitha, whoever is more comfortable about this, please tell us how did you find your accommodation? Are you staying at the university campus or are you staying outside, and how to coordinate that? So that would be really helpful for people. Yeah.
So personally for me, I think this is like 3 years back. We have this really good organization of like Indian students in IUPUI. It's called Desi Jags, and they have like multiple Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups and stuff. So I found them online on like Facebook, and then they had this really nice spreadsheet of all the incoming students, which you can edit. Like you put in your address, not put in your name, your phone number,
right,
and like what degree you're working towards, and your like monthly budget and so and then you can kind of like pick your roommates.
Wow.
And then like give them a call. So I kind of looked through, and since I was studying in NIT Calicut, there was just like two other people who were from like the close by region in Calicut. So I just connected them, and I was like, yeah, if you guys want to be a roommate, like if that's cool with you guys. And they agreed to it. And we first looked into like on-campus residence, but it was extremely expensive. And when talking with other seniors who were already here, they told they provided us options like Lockfield apartments or so and so other apartments around the campus, and how to apply and stuff, and what are required. So we kind of like scouted, and we were able to contact them via mail, and able to like get some codes and see which works for us.
Oh, nice.
And finally, we booked a place. Again, that required a lot of like coordination between us and the officials here, who like the leasing offices.
Right.
And they sent us like all the forms and how to get billed and everything, and we had to like mail them attachments of our passport, visa, I-20 application, and all that stuff. So, and then I think we also had to pay the advance and everything when we were here in US before we even got there. So which we had to like, it was helpful that we knew some seniors, like through the group, so they would be able to pay and we could pay them back eventually. Or like we'd be able to transfer to them, and they'll be able to go there and pay. I know some people just come here and then like stay with a couple of seniors for like 10-15 days, and then
figure it out.
And then see which place works for them. That's also good. But I was like afraid that might not be the best idea for me, so I just like got a place before I came in. Yeah, so that is how I found like my accommodation and stuff.
And how much does it cost to live off campus? I know it's way cheaper than on campus, but if you can tell us like how much is it costing you, if you don't mind, living off campus?
Initially, so we had 3 rooms. So I had 2 roommates, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment because the third roommate was okay with living in the hall, which is what most people do. Even to be more like economical, people try to share like a single bedroom.
Right.
but like having grown like as a single, like having lived only in like a single room ever since like I joined my undergraduate college, I was not comfortable. So my budget might be higher compared to what other people got into. But back in 2019, I think my budget started around $450
Okay.
just for me. And I think that included like water, trash, and gas.
Okay.
I had to pay for electricity alone
Okay.
um, on the outside.
That should not be
But I
more
think that
than $100 a month, right? In total.
overall, yeah, since I had gas, electricity was way cheaper.
Oh, awesome.
Uh, so it was like 60, $50 even on a like a cold winter day.
Right.
So that was not as expensive as it was,
So
but
$500, and then you get your own room with all the utilities that you just mentioned.
yep,
Yeah.
that's like about what it is.
Wow. How about you, Poojitha? Like, how was your experience the same? Like, you got it booked from India itself, and then you just came with your bags and got you into your room. How was your experience?
I think my visa was a little like delayed when I received because due to COVID, I couldn't get an appointment. So I literally had
Right.
like 2 weeks of gap before I traveled to US.
Okay.
So for me, finding an accommodation was kind of a hassle. But luckily, as Pradeep mentioned, I
Mhm.
also reached out to like this Desi Jack's Facebook group. So I'm sure like I would advise like students like you should reach out to the Facebook groups. I'm sure like every university has them so that you can find people posting about accommodations or if they're giving away any stuff and things like that. So
Mhm.
through Facebook and like WhatsApp groups, I was able to find a senior who was subleasing her apartment, so I could that's the way I found accommodation here. So
Wow.
I stayed temporarily for 3 months in that apartment, and then I kind of found other students who were also looking for permanent accommodation, and then we got together and we did all the leasing process and everything, like Pradeep mentioned. So uh, it was kind of different experience for me.
Right.
Coming to like living expenses, I think, yeah, including the utilities charges, the electricity, it should be around $500. Um, and again, this depends upon like how many people you're comfortable sharing your apartment with, and you have like number of options with the kind of apartment you want. There's like a 1 BHK, 2 BHK, or three. So it varies completely, and it also varies depending on the place. So I think Indy is reasonable kind of apartments, but if you go to places like Cali and New York, I'm sure
They're
they're
more
going to be a lot. Yeah.
more costly. Yes. So I think to summarize, I think you both mentioned really great points that contact people on Facebook, join these groups that are already here, like already made, and then be in touch with people, and you can get your apartment booked from India itself. So it should not be a hassle to do that.
Mhm.
So that's good. So to all the parents who may be watching this, it's like your children can come here safely and find an apartment and start studying their courses. So that's good to know.
Definitely.
And I think on the same line, how much is the expense that you pay for, let's say, grocery essentials, apart from your living costs? Let's say your living cost is $500 per month. How much you expect to pay for other things like grocery, buying some essentials, even going out for food, sometimes even partying, right? Because you're in the United States, so you need to do that as well, right? So how much do you like how much your expenditure apart from your fees on the grocery and other essentials?
Um, well, for groceries, like I mean, I used to be cooking alone, which was sort of expensive. But now with like I'm cooking with two other friends, like my roommates. So we meal prep together. So it kind of like makes it way cheaper,
Right.
and rather than eating outside. So groceries are definitely sort of more on the expensive side when you come from like India, and then so we have this mindset of converting every dollar to the Indian rupee, and then you wouldn't even pick up a milk can out of the like. So it kind of like has a backward mindset, but then once you kind of like get over it, that it is definitely more expensive than regular.
Right.
I feel like for me, it tabs around $150 to $200 a month. But then since I'm sharing it, it is way cheaper now. But I think it's better to like share groceries with someone else. And other utilities, as in eating outside, definitely is on the expensive side again.
Right.
And travel again would be more expensive, especially if you are planning to own a car, which I found on the hard side that the gas prices also are increasing right now.
They're very costly right now, yes.
And the insurance, which is a must here, is terribly expensive compared to like India, because we have really cheap like insurance.
Right.
I think out of my pocket, I'm paying like $200 for my car insurance.
Wow.
And like gas takes about like $100 to $150 a month.
Right.
Along with like groceries and eating outside. It all again tallies up to another $500 if you have a car, but if you don't, probably around 300 to 400 would be like a decent estimate.
Right. No, I think that makes sense. I think way back when we were here sharing apartments, getting groceries together, it was still like $100 to get a grocery for a month. Like you'll eat outside, you'll cook, or you will even let's say enjoy yourself. So it costs money. But I think with the recent soaring in the prices of gases and stuff, yes, definitely driving has become more costly. But yes, I think that's good to know. So I think Poojitha, you also I think stand on the same note in terms of groceries.
I think it's the same. I would say it's like let's say $50 per week, so 200 per month. Yeah, basic groceries. Yeah, but if you're definitely looking like going out for movies and like eating out at restaurants, it's gonna be more expensive.
Yes. And I think let's go to the next. So there are two questions. Search for internships. Let's say you are here, you're doing your master's, you're doing your PhD, and then you have certain credits completed, and then you want to do a internship, right? So, what's the procedure? How do you search for those and successfully find one during your course?
So I think it all begins with having a really good resume or like a CV. Fortunately, our university provides like assistance in it that we have. Like, I used to have a really good like advisor called Pat Rhodes, and she really revamped my CV. And if you're searching for an internship for like the summer break, the best time to start is the fall of the fall. So because the interviews and all the selection process takes place in the spring, and they pretty much have decided who they want to intern by February. So you'll want to apply by November.
So can I cut you here? So you're saying that if you want to go for an internship for 2023, you should start August 2022.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I definitely learned that the hard way, because I started applying when I like around January. I was like, oh, like this, like the regular time, because back in India, that's the good time to apply for internships. But not like people start like getting the internship around January and February for their summer. So the internship, so I started applying for the internship that I had last summer. I started applying for it like on November 2020. Okay. So I applied then. I used a lot of platforms like LinkedIn. It has really well updated job search and filters that you can use. Glassdoor is another website that I used a lot of times. I think apart from these two, I would be personally interested in a company like Verily or like Microsoft Genomics. I would personally go into their careers page and see if there's any internship position open, and then apply directly on their site. And then I'd also let my professors or anyone know, like, hey, I'm looking for internships. If you have any offers from a company that you know, please forward it. Because even in my mail today morning, I saw a couple of offers that was forwarded from one of one of our advisors to all of the students to apply for. So there's like a lot of offers available. It's just that we don't go to the opportunities as much.
Right.
So I applied for my internship. I was personally interested in this Sage Bionetworks, which is a Seattle-based group, which was pretty interesting for me because they worked in AD and they are already tied to the IU School of Medicine, and I learned about them from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied for them, and the process took me. The first interview was on December end, and they had 3 more interviews and technical rounds, and it ended around like February, March.
Okay.
And I got the offer on March
Wow.
for the internship in May. And it was a 6-month internship, which was pretty useful because it overlapped with my PhD work.
Right.
And I was able to like capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the advice would be to apply early, have a really good resume, and also a really good cover letter.
Right.
And make sure like it gets through the system, like the first step, the AI check step. There are a lot of tips and tricks that your advisor knows, so they can get you through. But I'd also to know more about the opportunities for sure.
Wow. So that's a really good advice. Like, sum it up, it would be prepare your resume from day one, start working on it. Then the second would be start networking. The more people you work or you connect with, the easier it gets to find an opportunity, right? Find an opportunity, and then go to different websites, try different methods, and keep applying. I think that's the key. So that's a great advice, Pradeep. So we have one final question for Poojitha, and that is, how is student life in US? Like, is it when compared to India? Like, let's say you have done your bachelor's in India or some course in India, comparing that to US, like, how would you describe it? How's your routine? Like, is it overwhelming for people who come here from India or some other part of the country, or is it easy? Is it easygoing and it can be easily adapted to?
Right. I think it depends on an individual how they take it in a perspective, but it definitely was overwhelming for me when I came first because I had like coursework and I never really had any work experience. So I had to handle my coursework. I was doing research assistant simultaneously and trying to keep up the job. And like, then you have like a lot of assignments and projects at the end of the semester. You're more overwhelmed with those.
Right.
But I think if you're able to be like well organized with your schedule and like reaching out to your deadlines and stuff, I think this shouldn't be much of a deal. And also, like you mentioned previously, like networking and getting to know your seniors. Like if you have any kind of trouble anywhere, it's important that you put it out there and take advice from them or your mentors, so that you're able to move forward and cope with these. It's very easy for a person to get stressed under all of these going simultaneously. So it's important that you do that. And I would definitely advise like students to pursue their extracurricular activities if you're interested in that keeps you going here. Like it can be sports, or if you're into any clubs, it really keeps it gives you a different mindset and vibes. And there are a lot of events that your university hosts, and I think those are some things that you should really enjoy while you're here in your student life. I don't think you get an opportunity to do that later. So yeah, I think there should be certain kind of a balance among these, and it should be easygoing once you're used to that routine.
Right. You'll start loving that, like,
Yeah.
once you get to the routine. Wonderful, wonderful. So I think the last thing is maybe both of you can give few words of advice for people who are planning to come here. Things to consider, things maybe you can cover, Pradeep, you can cover, Poojitha, like things that you should consider about safety, things that you should consider about before you're coming here, like what you should be prepared about, and yeah, general advice, like just to make sure that whoever is planning to come here lands safe and starts their journey on a positive note.
I would say, yeah, for sure, make sure like you pick, like you don't regret the university you picked, or once you picked it, you gotta vibe with it or like be a part of it. Like there's so much any university you have asked to offer. choosing your roommates is a very important part of the process because you're going to be with them and you probably connect with them more emotionally because you're going to be stay or like when they're going to see you at your toughest times, or because I mean, even when you leave, however strong you are, you're going to get homesick sometime or the other, and your roommates are going to be the representation of your like your family back at home essentially. So picking your roommates is pretty important. Make sure you're like well connected with them before you come in.
Right.
And also, so I mean, I was like a basketball player back in my college. So when I was playing, all my friends that I met here are on the court, or like whenever I went on like to do the extracurricular activities, when I went to the clubs, and that's where I met all my friends around. So interact. So like the part of belonging will not be there. It looks very like plastic or like not so natural. But once you get into it, they will obviously welcome you wherever you're from. And it's you just need to like allow them to like, hey, yeah, come along with us, like, and go around. And also at the same time, try to be careful about going into like other like extreme activities. Make sure that you're in your right path. At the same time, try to mingle and network with as many people as you can in your like interest areas, as Poojitha said before too. And definitely like taking care of your CV and your like making sure like I mean, if you're a grad student, you obviously have a supervisor advisor with you, and talking with them about your future plans after your graduation, any time of the process. Like I used to have these conversations like 3 months into the college for my 5-year PhD program, but it still makes sense that it's reassuring that you have something in the future to look forward to. So that is definitely something to keep asking about the future plans and make sure it's the one that you want and not something else. So yeah, those would be my sort of advice.
That's a great set of advice. Like plan your future from day one. Like keep planning, keep working on it, and start adjusting to the environment so that you can make the best out of it. So that's great. So Poojitha, any advice from your end that you think we should be giving to the incoming students?
Well, apart from what Pradeep mentioned, I think I would say that you should have your driving license. I mean, I'm also one of those persons who doesn't know driving in India. So, but here when you're going out, I know a lot of places where you require like an ID, and carrying your passport is something which is very dangerous. So I had to apply for a state ID since I didn't have a driving license. But having a driving license from India would definitely be an advantage over here. And apart from that, I think the same thing that I mentioned, you're a lot more independent once you are here. And it's important that you have a good set of friends or roommates, as Pradeep mentioned, when you're you're like homesick or something. So that is something important that you have. And apart from that, yes, you need to stay focused on your goals, like what you're here for. And also like try to go out and mingle. Don't stay confined to your room and stuff like that, like studies. You need to also try to go out. And I think traveling is one thing that if you're really interested in, you can make most of it while you're a student itself. I don't know if you get a time after your job and everything. So
right. No, that I think that advice, along with what Pradeep said, gives you a complete picture of what you should be doing and what kind of planning you have to do. And and I think my advice, being an alumni from IU, is it's a very safe place, and they take care of their students. So, and then as it's in US, like you have to prepare your profile, and you have to foresee for what you want to do in the future. So no one will come and hold your hand and take you there. You have to get there and fetch the water yourself. So that's what I would say. So first of all, thank you so much, both of you, for taking out the time. I know you both are very busy with your coursework and your internships, but thank you so much for taking out the time to help all the people who might be listening to or will be listening to this. And please share it with your friends as well once it's out. And I hope everyone who is listening to this gets some kind of benefit from the video. I hope you liked today's video. If yes, then please like, share, and subscribe. Also, do let us know in the comments what are the other topics you want us to cover in the video. So I will see you in the next video very soon. Thank you so much for watching.